Well, here we are. It's Friday, April 22nd, 2022, and time for the weekly video on what's been going on over on eBay this past week. There were some real interesting results, and there's some very good lots that we're going to go through at the end of this video about things that are on there right now. There's one collection in particular that's very interesting. There's some things in there that were bought at the Roger Cavern sale, as well as from the Perry collection. And they're apparently being auctioned off without reserve, some nice items. We're going to get into that toward the end of the video. We're going to go through some good price results in the middle. And as always, we're going to go over a little housekeeping, things that went on this past week, talk about it. Over on the global member pages section, this is for the subscribers over there. We added an extra video this week, sort of on news that's coming up. We talked about a couple of the sales that we were particularly fond of that are featured on the site right now, which include the Bonham sale and sort of some of my favorite things that I found that were scattered around that turned up on Live Auctioneers. And also this week, the Rob Michaels sale, the latest sale that's coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks, has been added to the global pages. So if you're a global page user, don't forget to check on the home page on when you log in. Come over here on the home page. There's a number of videos that we've done for you guys, focusing specifically on the content of the global pages. All right, so we're going to try to do 1 or 2 extra videos every week on there as well. But you can only see them on the global pages. You can't get through them through the regular YouTube channel. What else is going on here? Oh, we did a video this week on the Royal Trust in the UK. This one right here, the Royal Collection Trust. And the reason I did it was, if you haven't seen it yet, was that they have fantastic photographs, and they have photographs of things that do turn up in auctions. Not everything that's in the royal family's collection is an incredible rarity. It's just a nice example from a certain given period and so forth. And the items all tend to be in remarkable condition because they were given as gifts on many occasions from the imperial family to the royal family of Britain. So they have some pretty spectacular pieces, and we go through them all. We went through them all, not all of them, we went through a lot of them. It would take years to go through the whole collection. There are thousands of items just under Chinese in their inventories, but it's very searchable, and we talk about the site a bit. All right, and then over here I had mentioned that Rob Michaels' sale is up, and as always, he's got a lot of interesting material. The particular thing that he's got this time around, he always has a lot of 18th century porcelain. This time he seems to have more than usual in some very big lots. There's a couple of lots in here that are just staggeringly big, and they include there's some real interesting things. One of the things that caught my eye is this, a very fine set of 2 pairs of cups and saucers reticulated, and these are those reticulated double wall cups that they started making them in the Ming Dynasty, and they continued making them into the Kangxi period. Here's a pair of them. They look to be very fine. These are for if you collect really fine Kangxi examples and in unusual forms, you might want to look at these. These are awfully nice. The saucers look good. The bowls look good. I don't see any damage. Always, check for a condition report, but have a look. They're estimated at 3,000 to 6,000 euros. I suspect they'll get up into the 3 to 4 range, maybe a little higher, but they're beautiful examples, beautiful conditions. These are the kind of things that you find at Marchand's or that Ralph Jate gallery. It's that caliber cup and saucer. They're awfully nice. They're very nice. And there's also a lot of, as always, blue and white transitional wares, as well as Famille Rose examples from the Yongchen period, the Qianlong period, the Daoguan period, the Guangxu period, the Chaiqing period, you name it, they're all in here. Well worth checking it out. There's this very nice Guangxu Marken period Hu form vase. These are just a few things I came across. And then there's this. This is very unusual. It's a Fang Hu. It's a form that we all recognize. And I trust Rob's dating on it. He's got it dated as Yongchen to Qianlong period. And it's a really interesting flambe glazed example very, very early looking in its style. The style is a very old style, but beautifully done all the way around. Estimated at 2,000 to 4,000 euros. Looks like a good thing to me. And then this, I think this is fantastic. It's a biscuit decorated, probably Jiaqing period, late Ming vase. Beautifully colored, nice aubergine enamels of the chrysanthemums all the way down. The base is unglazed. If you want to take a look at it, here it is. It's exactly what it should look like. Beautifully done, nice and neat, nice white paste all the way around. You can see a few chatter marks here and there. And this looks to be, he just dated it as Ming, but this style is typically associated with Jiaqing wares of the Ming Dynasty. And it's associated with a type of vase that's of this form, also that sometimes have chimeras and lizards on the neck. But this looks like a really nice example. It's good size, 51 centimeters tall, so it's around 20 inches tall or so. It looks like it's in great condition. 4 to 8,000 pound estimate. That seems low to me. That seems like a low estimate. I think this is the kind of thing that you can bring 10 to 15,000 pounds pretty readily. And there's this, a nice blue and white piece that had been Ming, had been exported to England, or to Europe, somewhere in Europe. And they added this nice spout onto here, and they use these as liquor decanters, big liquor decanters for holidays and so forth, because it holds a lot of booze. It's 39.5 centimeters tall, just about 40 centimeters. So it's roughly 13 or 14 inches tall. Nice looking jar. And then again, we've seen a number of these lately, another pair of these transitional period vases. Transitional wares, as I've said a million times, have come up a lot in value in the last 10 years in particular. They've really jumped. And here's another pair of these jars. These are good looking. They're similar. They're not identical, because you hardly ever see identical and matched pairs of jars, but you'll see sort of complementary pairs, they call them sometimes. These are nice. The estimate is very reasonable, 3,000 to 6,000 euros, which seems to be about half of what they're probably worth. So there's an opportunity to buy here anyway. The opening bid is only 2,400 euros, which is very, very low, really reasonable. And then this is one of my favorite things in the sale, was this transitional period square-handled coffee wine pot. Very nicely done, beautifully done, very similar to some of the later Ming examples, except that the body is a bit larger. It isn't quite so compressed. It's up elevated a little bit, and you have that very nice soft cobalt blue that you see on transitional wares. And I've said it before, I want to say it again. There are a lot of fakes of transitional wares turning up on the market. Sleeve vases in particular. Be really careful if you come across them through sources you're not so sure about, because they are very good. They're very meticulously made, and they are fooling a lot of people, the copies. So be really, really, really careful when looking at anything purportedly to be transitional these days, or Chongshen period, or anything in that mid-17th century. Very risky. But this looks like a heck of a nice pot. I think the estimate is 4,000 to 8,000. It's a rare form, 3,200 euro opening bid. Nice looking pot. And then there's lots like this coming up with the Famille Rose Candies, and then this octagonal plate, and this Chinese Amari. Nice looking lot, and estimated at 1,500 to 2,500 euros. I suspect the Rooster Candies are worth about what the estimate is, the high end of the estimate too. And this lot should bring closer to $3,500 to $4,500. I would think. All right, so anyway, we're going to do a video on this, and we'll do a bit of a deeper dive, sort of my favorite things. I found a bunch of things that I really like in there, including that transitional piece, but other objects as well. And I'm going to go through them. We'll do a global page video on that also, and we'll do a general covering of this sale hopefully next week for the regular YouTube channel. All right, now let's see here. This is something I noticed that was funny. This plate may look familiar. We were just looking at one just like it over here. All right, and for some reason, I don't know why, but this plate went for almost nothing for what it is. It's an absolutely wonderful sort of a rouge de fur with gilding and black enamels, 18th century dish. Very, very nice dish. It did have a rough edge on one side, as I recall, over in here, but it went for, this thing went for a very reasonable price, $89, 7 bids. All right. It did need a little work on one edge, but it looks like about $120 repair, and you got a really fine, unusual piece of export porcelain. So that was a pretty good buy. And then this was awfully pretty. And that, again, 18th century, this beautiful border. God, I love the border on this, and I love the style of the cobalt on here. Here's a picture of the back of it. Nice looking foot rim. Looks absolutely right. It's got that good color that we like to look for. Slightly irregular from the knife trimming going around it, and it's got this nice sort of creamy ivory paste to it. That the color that you want to see on these. Does have the typical rim fritting that you see on these, and it had a little firing. Had a little firing flaw in here, but it didn't affect the front of the plate at all. This was a beautiful thing. Look what it went for, $57, and I don't know why. I think maybe people saw it and thought the dating was wrong on this. This was an 18th century plate and a rare one, and it went right through the cracks for $57. I've said it a million times. Leave a bid. All right, if you saw this and you didn't, Gordon Gecko was the seller of this. He's a very good dealer over in the UK, and there you have it. So somebody got an absolutely outstanding buy. All right, and then over to this. This was also a good buy. Another 18th century rouge de fur with gilt mug with a stepped base. A good one, and the decorations on it were really well done. He's got a nice looking handle. It looks to be intact. There's a firing gap there in the handle. You can see that. But other than that, it was awfully nice. $113. All right, and these prices are soft, and it's because I think people are maybe distracted these days. I don't know, but there's some awfully nice things now that are turning up on eBay. And I think eBay has lost some buyers over the years. They've lost some sellers, we all know. And I have a feeling that there's some arbitrage possibilities here for people who like to buy in one place, sell in another. All right. And then there was this. This thing had a couple of breaks in it. It wasn't perfect, but it's one of these very desirable forms of export porcelain platters made around 1780, 1790. Very nicely done. And quite big. This was 43 centimeters, so about 18 inches in diameter. It had a little condition problem down here in the corner. You can see it, but it displayed beautifully. It displays beautifully. It's big, with a great hanging on a wall. Went for $75 US. That's not bad. And then onto this, I had 3 inquiries on this Satsuma jar. I think it's unsigned. It was being sold by Joni's up in Canada, but I thought it was an awfully nice example. And I think somebody got a very good buy on it. This was a good buy, $820. I had when I replied about this, I think I thought it could, I told the buyers, if they get some Satsuma guys on this, it could bring 1,000 to 1,500. Well, I don't think they got any sets, or many Satsuma buyers after it, and it went for just $820. And this was a good sized jar. This wasn't a small jar. What was it? It was like 16 inches or something tall. Hold on. I hate these guys put all the information worth looking at the bottom. 12 and 13 inches tall. It was good size, and it went reasonably. $820 for a beautiful piece of Satsuma. All right, and then Joni's also had this up. It was a pair of Famille June dragon jars. They had listed it as what did they say this was? Young Chen. They're not Young Chen. They're late 19th century, which is reflected in the price. I think everybody figured that out. But these had been lamped originally, and here's the top. You can see when the lamp cover was on here. I think I got a little too tight, caused this little break here. Here are the lids. They've been neatly drilled out, and the bottoms, of course, are drilled as well. But very pretty color, nice toning of the dragon, the cobalt. The flowers are vibrant and all that. And in the end, the pair went for $1,075. All right. Then they weren't Young Chen. They were Young Chen style, but they weren't young. Joni sometimes takes few liberties with dating, I think. All right. And then on to this, the pair of Kangxi-styled sleeve vases. These were beautiful. They had sold apparently at Christie's or Sotheby's some time ago. Any rate, they did well this time around. They brought $5,512. And these are not transitional period. These are 19th century vases, but beautifully done. And this was Great Lakes Antiques, Great Lakes Antiquing in Michigan. And they have a number of things up right now, and we're gonna talk about some of them in a little bit. All right, and then there was over to this, the very simple sort of commoner's robe with a rank embroidery with an embroidery panel on the front, nicely done. But it's a nice 19th century one. Ended up selling for $3,383, and as I've said every week, silk is still a very strong item, no matter where it's offered. Silk buyers are tenacious, and they're supporting a very good market. If you can find this stuff, you can do very well with Chinese silks. And then the Tongxi period Quanzhong sweetmeat set. This was quite a nice thing, and very unusual because it looked like it had all the pieces. Here it is. It's complete. And it has that Quanzhong style of decoration. These were done during the 19th century. Well, they did them right into the 20th century as well. But it's sort of rustic. The style, it has to do with the Quanzhong is the color of the enamels and also the stylistic way in which they are applied. But these were nice looking. And they ended up selling for $1,441. So there you go. Again, Quanzhong wares are sort of like robes. There's a strong, sort of quiet market there for them. Whenever they come up, there's a group of people that go after them, just absolutely wild for them. All right, and then on to this, the pair of late 18th century export beakers. These were attractive. These were very attractive, very finely decorated, beautiful decoration on them all the way around. The glaze was nice and even. There was a little bit of a break here on the mouth of this one. Here's a picture of the bottom, but they did fine in the end. For a piece that has a break in it, they still brought $565. If that one hadn't been broken and they were absolutely perfect, they would have brought probably $1,000, something like that, $500 a piece. But one of them was damaged, held the price back. So, but I think $565 was a really good buy for those. I thought they were quite nice. All right, and this was one of my favorite things. As you all know, I like carved things. I like carved wooden objects a great deal. And I thought this double frame was very, very attractive. Late Qing, but nicely done. And overall, in quite good condition. Had a little loss down here on the left-hand side, but nothing too serious. But the quality of the carving overall was quite good around here. This would need to be, if I bought this, I'd have this tightened up. Take it to a guy that knows cabinetry and have him just tighten that gap up a little. That's just some shrinkage. And color in and smooth over that area that had the little bit of loss right here. You can see where some of the apple blossoms or plum blossoms, there were probably two of them here, and they chipped off. And I would probably just color this in to make it less noticeable. All right. I mean, if you want to go all out, you can rebuild. You can make a plaster mold from these flowers, flip it, and put them in here, let it harden, and then stain them brown so that they match. And it can be done, and that's how they do them. Or, if you're real serious, you hire a wood carver to do it. But now you're talking serious money. But this was a very nice frame. I love stuff like this. I love the flower vase in the middle, and then the dragons, and here's the pearl in the middle here. Beautifully done. Sold for just $262. So it's one of those cases where, you can still find really interesting stuff on the market. But of course, it depends what kind of a buyer you are. Are you a collector? Are you an investor? Are you a dealer? Are you an academic person that just is interested in the history and so forth more than you get hung up on condition endlessly? You have to sort of figure out where you are with this. But like myself, with an interest in this sort of funky the domestic stuff that they made and stuff they made for export to show Westerners what things are like in China and what they like for decorations and so forth. I think this was an absolutely wonderful buy, beautifully done and authentic. All right, and then over to this. This was that little celadon that we talked about last week, 18th century, really nicely done. It's got the black, the iron stained foot, some good looking legitimate wear. The decorations on it look great. I thought this was quite nice. This wasn't very big. It was only a few inches tall. What was it? 4.5 inches in diameter, and they don't tell you how tall it is, but it looks like it's probably about 2 or 3 inches tall. Ended up selling well. It sold for $1,136, but it had very nice decoration. It had really good decoration on it, very good glaze, very nicely potted, nicely finished, very tidy underneath on the foot rim. It all looked perfectly fine. It all aligns very nicely with 18th century work and good colors. All right, and now I want to hop over and show you a few things that are going to be on the newsletter page this week. Over here, excuse me, I've got a little spring hay fever today, I think. All the flowers are coming out here. It's wild. There we go. Let's see here. And those are, by the way, as an aside that has nothing to do with any of this, many of you remember last year we had that big storm in November and lost some massive trees around our property here in Gloucester. And the ones that came down have all been cleaned up and removed a while ago. We had the cranes in here, as you might recall. And just this week, we had one of the replacement trees brought in on a winch and dropped into the front yard. It's a big cherry. It's going to be a big cherry tree, about 30 feet tall. But we're getting the yard back together. I'm so happy to see that thing. And we're going to get the kids in the neighborhood to make a time capsule for it. Put some stuff under there, make it fun. But spring is definitely here. The flowers are coming out, and I can almost taste them. All right, now what's coming up on eBay this week? There's a number of good things. So I'm going to go through them pretty quickly here. This is this Great Lakes Antiquing has these up. I mentioned them at the beginning. They had something that sold. They have these up, and these are from the Perry collection. Beautiful pair of Beijing enamel 18th century saucers or side tray, little trays with dragons on them. Very, very nice. They're up to $117. They close in 3 days. They will be on the regular newsletter page. All right. And if you don't subscribe to this, you might want to. I had somebody email me about it. I said, well, if you sign up for it, you get right here. It's free to sign up for the notifications. You'll get an email as soon as the page is updated each Friday, so you don't have to keep checking it because it gets updated at varying times depending on how we get through things here, and it can update at 5, it can update at 6:30, but we'll let you know as soon as it does. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, now over here, back on what things that are on there, is this, a very nice small Islamic market Famille Rose export bowl with these beautiful botes on here, these serrated leaf affairs running around the outside. And this bowl could have been made either for the Persian market or the Indian market. They exported porcelains to both of these places done in this style. Sometimes they have Arabic on them, but this one just have these beautiful leaves running around the outside. This is a very nice bowl made around 1840. A nice decorations all the way around. And there it is. It looks like it's in nice condition. It's up to just $57, closes on Sunday. But if you like 19th century export wares that have elements that indicate, that they were meant for the Islamic market or the Indian market, that kind of thing, this is that kind of a bowl, and it should bring $600 to $800, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know these days. This is another piece that's being offered by Great Lakes Antiquing. Again, this was something that was in Roger Cavern's sale. You may recall we talked about it. We did a review of it. Here it is in the catalog. Here's the cup, and you can go look it up. You can go look up and see what he paid for it, actually. But anyway, this is a nice one. It's in bamboo. It's got a good-looking surface. Looks absolutely fine. It belonged to Roger Cavern, the famous English dealer, and it's up to $450. Ought to bring a few thousand. Ought to bring 2,000 or 3,000 anyway. But you take a shot at it. Don't I don't want to come back next week and say somebody bought this for just $700 or $800 or something. Chase it. The same goes for this very nice Beijing glass 3-color overlay Qinlong period snuff bottle or small vase. Beautifully done. Well done. Really well done. And this also was, I believe, from the Cavern sale. Here it is in the catalog, and here's the one. It's in the, here he obviously was the buyer or is selling it for the buyer. And there's a number of things in here. All these things are online right now. It's a good job of the photography here. This is up to $2,050. It's got a ways to go yet. All right. But 3 days to go. It closes Monday. But don't be afraid. At $4,000 or $5,000, this is a nice looking snuff bottle. Beautifully done. All right. And they also have this very good Xuandi marked early Qing. I think this is probably early Qing bronze from what I'm seeing. All right. Nicely done. Good color all the way around. He doesn't date it on this for some reason. Ming or later. Okay. I think it's probably Qing, but at any rate, it's a very handsome example, and it looks like it's in great condition. Very clean, no scratches. Don't see any dents or problems. The handles don't look like they've ever been knocked off. Nice looking bronze. And moseying along over to here, this turned up on here. Nice gilt bronze seated Buddha. Probably late Ming, early Qing. There's the bottom. It's got some sort of old note stuffed into it. I don't think it's a fake note. This all looks legit. The wear looks good. The color looks good. I don't know what this picture was for. It looks like he shot it over, sharpened it or something. I don't know what that is. But here you have it. Here's the front of it. Nice looking bronze. Ought to bring a few thousand. But right now it's up to just $208. It's got 4 hours to go. It closes later on today. So if we get this up in time, I hope you check it out. All right. That one's a little close to the close today, and this closes today also. It's this really nice filigree and enamel breeze fan, export wear, mid 19th century, beautifully done with the box. Looks like it's in quite good condition. It's up to $960. The last time one of these was on here, as I recall, that was very similar to this. It ended up selling for about $1,800 to $2,100. So I think that's probably where that's heading, but you never know. And then this, one of these rare lotus dishes from the 18th century, Qinlong. They made these, many of you have seen them before. They made them in bowls. They made little dish sets out of them and so forth. Here's a dish. It apparently is in very good condition. There's some looks like dirt or some sort of discoloration here. You might want to look into that, but it looks, it probably might just clean off. Any rate, it's up to 255 pounds or $332. It's got 23 hours to go. This closes tomorrow on Saturday. It'll be on the newsletter page. Nice looking piece of porcelain, and not damaged. Ought to bring $600 to $800 when it's all in and done. And also, if you're a Fitzhugh export porcelain buyer out there, there's a seller in this area, and I imagine I've probably met him, but I don't really, I'm not sure who it is. He sells under the name of Old Bostonian, and he deals a lot of sort of what we consider antiques, American antiques, export porcelain for the American furniture, Americana market, and all this. He has up for sale a whole bunch of very fine quality Fitzhugh and Nanking. And this is just one of them. He's got a terrine. Here's the terrine for it. And if you're a Fitzhugh buyer or a Nanking buyer, that kind of thing, check it out. I think there's probably 8 or 10 good lots in here. This is up to just $21 for the terrine. It's about a foot long. It's got 4 days to go. Check it out. Check it out. Always check these things out and just leave a bid. And this is the wreck of the day, and it's a wreck worth talking about. This is the last thing we're going to go into today, is this very, very good 18th century basin. It's about 14, what is it, 14 inches in diameter. This is a big piece of porcelain. The quality is spectacular. If you don't care about condition that much, because this thing has hit everything but the lottery. It's got all kinds of, this looks like it was dropped off a roof somewhere. It's got, a zipper of staple repairs here. It's got a crack going this way. It's got cracks over here, cracks over there. A really crappy filler job on that side. Cracks showing on the front. All kinds of stuff. But somebody saved this. Even though this thing had been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces, 11 pieces. Okay. So you can imagine this thing exploded, hit the ground, and somebody loved this thing enough to get at least sort of back together a little bit. It's a terrible repair job, absolute rubbish. And you have this globby stuff over here. It looks like white chewing gum or something he's got on here, right here. But if you don't care about condition too much, and you want to own something because it has fantastic merit as far as decoration goes, this is something to think about. This isn't for the person that wants to buy only perfect pieces and looking to make a lot of money. This is for somebody who absolutely takes in orphans. This thing is an orphan, as far as I'm concerned. It's the kind of thing I would buy just because it's so fine and it's such an elegant gentleman, as they say, of a piece of work of art that it deserves a home. This was such a superior example when it was made. From what I'm seeing of it, it's probably late Kangxi or early Yongchen period. Just the honeycomb pattern on this is one of the tightest patterns I've ever seen in my life. All through here, the border decorations are, in a word, stupendous, and all that. It's up to $1. Okay, $1.20, 99 cents. No, 0.99 pounds or $1.29. It closes in 7 days. Where's this coming from? I'm not even sure here. It's coming from the UK. The shipping to here from the UK is about 64 pounds. But this is a big piece. It's this big. And, a lot of you are saying, oh, I'm not, I don't want it because it's a wreck. But if you like funky old orphans that deserve a home, this is a great thing to buy. That's all there is to it. All right, and that's about it for the week. There's other things going on. I heard from some of you that you like the Morse collection book that we posted into the reference section on the Bidamount site last week. A lot of you have used it because I have a thing that tells me, and a lot of you spent some time on there going through that thing. It's full of marks, it's full of photographs, and it is one of the historic books printed in English. One of the earliest great historic books on Japanese pottery that was printed in English by the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. And the originals are very hard to get. They make the Rutland Press or whatever it is does a reprint of it, but it's not that good. But do use it. Do check it out. It's a great thing. All right. And thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you haven't subscribed to it yet here on YouTube, please do. Visit us over at bidamount.com. And those of you that pay the $4 a month for the global members thing, thank you. It helps support the site, helps support everything we do. I don't mention that often enough, but running the sites that we run and doing all this and the software and everything, it's kind of expensive. I'm never aware of how expensive it is until I see it, the totals at the end of the year. And so everybody who subscribes to the global pages, for example, and use the identification assistance service are helping, support the site, which is very, very nice. All right. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. See you all next time. Bye-bye.